Stop developing products, start developing meta products. So what are meta products? Why I'm talking about this? Before I get into the details of it, let me talk about how the usual product development cycle looks like. So in the usual product development, we understand the problem, we create an architecture, then design, then we go ahead and implement the solution. It's obviously an iterative process. You do lots of iteration to come up with your product and you ship the same to the market, and when some changes come, you repeat the same cycle. Now, all of us have developed the product in this particular way. What I am trying to tell you that let's change the way we develop product by using meta products. To make you understand the meaning of meta products, let me take a real world example. Let's assume that you want to create a car, you want to build a car and sell it to the market. You just don't go ahead and start creating a car. You create a car manufacturing unit, a factory, a car factory which manufactures lots and lots of cars. And remember, before this car manufacturing unit is complete, you will not be able to sell even a single car. But you don't do that. You create a car manufacturing unit, a manufacturing plant. Now the question is, why do we create a factory? Let me give you some simple examples, right? Let's assume that you have created this car, this yellow equipment and yellow car, right? What if you need to change the color of the car? Well, the same manufacturing unit can do it in the easiest possible way. You can ship a red car. Now, what if you want to change the design of the car? That will happen, right? Sooner or later. With the manufacturing factory, you can do that. So all those things you can do. That's why you invest a hell lot of time in creating a manufacturing unit or a factory to create a car. And this factory is called meta product. The product is car, but the factory is meta product. Hope you have understood it. Now let's come back to our software development world. I know all of you must have heard about this term called metadata. It is used widely in database world and even in some applications like AI, ML and many other applications. The metadata helps us to understand the data without getting into the detail of the data. I know you might also have heard about something called metaprogramming. It is programming about program. So if you are a C++ programmer or C Sharp or Java programmer, you must have heard about something called template metaprogramming or generics. All those things are what? They are metaprogram because they generate program out of the code you have written. Any code generation tool is a metaprogram. Now, metadata and metaprogramming are used widely accepted too. What I'm trying to tell you over here is that now think about creating meta products. Okay, this is all about creating a product which will generate our product similar to the car factory. Now, why I'm talking about this? Let's understand the product development perspective. So let's assume that I have created a product. Of course, to create my product, I need to build so many things. These small building blocks you can see, right? All those small building blocks created my product. Now today what we do, we just go ahead and start creating product without creating any meta product. The problem will be, right, products are never static. No matter how good you have understand the requirements, how many times you have talked to your customers or potential customers or other stakeholders, product will change. And change is the characteristic of each and every product, and we call it versioning to a large extent. That this is my X version, and version X plus 1 will come with new changes. In that sense, it is very similar to the car manufacturing factory. You are delivering a car, and over a period of time, you get the feedback, you add new color, you change the design. It's all about, changing. You create car factory so that you are able to change, not that you want to do everything static over the period of its lifetime. Same thing happens with the product. So let's see one example how the versioning happens. Let's assume that I have created this product. There are three versions of the product. From the first to second version, you can see some blocks are changed. Like the first and last block is changed, you can make out from the color of the blocks. And after a period of time, you will have to change further blocks to be able to deliver new products. So these are the changes I'm talking about in the product. Now, what happens that, for each and every change, you need to do the coding. Okay, so from version 1 to version next plus 1, you change the same via directly working onto the product, which means you need to involve the coding part, which actually means that you need to take care of many things. Like it will take more time because you are getting into a complex system and changing something. You will have to make sure that you run regression test on all the things because you'd never know any change will impact any other change. You will have to deploy the same, and you will have to be an expert to be able to do the changes. This is extremely important. I'm not saying that when you create meta products you don't have to do regression, but things are easy, right, in case of meta products. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you create meta product, which means I want you to create your product factory, which can create your products and the permutation combinations easily. And if you create a product factory, as I have stated in this particular picture, you can create things with higher speed. If your factory is capable of small tweaking, easily you can create products without wondering about somebody going into the product, understand the complexities of it, and then change the code there. You will have built-in quality, because product factories will be created in such a way where, small changes leads to less and less regression or the chances of regression in other part of the code. You will be flexible, highly flexible, because you can, create multiple versions of the product for multiple customers in the easiest possible way. And you can respond to any change in the market dynamics, market requirements, and customer requirements because you have a factory and that can change things. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that creating factory will not take time, creating meta product will not take time. It will, very similar to, creating a car factory before even creating the first car. But there is a reason to it. You have to understand that when you are creating a factory, you understand each and every detail about the product, which you will don't do when you directly jump into the product. Second thing is that when you are creating a factory, you are creating built-in flexibility where you can tweak things, change things without impacting the product or without, asking your customer to wait for months before coming up with your next version. If it is a small tweaking, you'll have to do it. Of course, when you create something new, when you come up with a totally new product, your factory needs to be modified because factory is not an artificially intelligent entity. It has to change. But the factory can still create the basic building blocks, and it will take very less amount of time for you to add that specific part of the product. So this is the idea behind meta products I'm talking about. Meta products means the product factory, not the product. So, with this, that's all I wanted to talk to all of you. I do hope and believe that you will think about creating meta products for your products. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.